Hello, welcome to Awake Radio. This is Madmark, and today I'm gonna do a bit on this plane crash on San Francisco. I've looked into several sources, and I believe I have some very conflicting information. Now, there's a lot of videos out there claiming this is a hoax. Well, one of the things I am is a bit of a transport geek, and I'm mainly buses to be honest, but airplanes do interest me too. I've watched many episodes of the air crash investigation. I know it kind of goes against what we say about telly, but one thing I actually really enjoyed. I'm going to start, there's a what inspired me to do this video was let me just try and find it. It was a video I found on YouTube, or not that I found actually, was pointed out in the Awake stream. The hoax video by Sam Max Malone. I'm just going to try and find a link for you guys. I'm just going to put this link in the chat box now. Right, now I've watched this video a little bit. The commentator gets a bit angry and sort of starts shouting, so instead of playing it to you, I've sort of taken out some facts, and I encourage you to watch it anyway. Now, he also cites another link. Basically, he bases this all off of the Daily Mail, one of the Daily Mail reports. Hold on, I'll try and find you that link too. Just anyone that's listening to this on podcast, if you type into Google San Francisco Flight 214 hoax, you should get that YouTube video come up. The Daily Mail one's a bit different. There are several reports of this on there. This particular one focused on the fact that survivors of Flight 214 defend themselves for grabbing their bags as the fireball consumed the plane. Okay, now we've kind of got onto the fact that this has been a hoax. I haven't really managed to find out the reason why there would be. Nor am I gonna say it's a hoax because I don't know. But what I find interesting is a lot of what's there just doesn't seem to really make sense. And as we know from other presenters, the media doesn't really show what's really going on, do they? So I've made a notepad file here with several points. I'm going to read these out one by one and go from there. Firstly, if we look at people's behaviour on this plane, we notice, they're casually walking out with their baggage. There's a bloke on his cell phone. you know, if this was an actual situation, if I was on a plane, let's forget the plane situation. I'm a bus driver now. If I saw any black smoke coming from my bus, I wouldn't be hesitating to get out of that bus. I wouldn't be going back to pick up my money or my cash tray or, my passengers. I would expect them to get off the bus. Now, an airplane's just the same, as buses. You're trying to get those passengers out as quickly as possible. It was 90. They report it was 90 seconds after the plane landed before they evacuated the passengers. 90 seconds. That's a whole minute and a half. Now, why would you wait that long? It's madness. As I say, I'm a bus driver. If my bus was to show any signs of catching fire, in fact, it did once. Very minor smoke, but I pulled up at the very nearest exit and got the people out of my bus. Oh dear, I'm not going to carry on too much with that one, but it just seems rather, that seems quite, just daft. It says here that a policeman marched on with an axe as well. Despite all this seemed calm, the policeman apparently had to march on with an axe freeing passengers, but we've just seen they're all actually quite calm. They're messing about with their cell phones. No one seems to be running away from the plane either. They're quite happy to be near it, despite the fact it's all fire. But that doesn't really make much sense. Where are we? Now, if we go to another link, apologies for the constant link, but this kind of all goes hand in hand. There's a couple of videos of the plane footage. Again, type into Google Boeing 777 plane crash lands at San Francisco Airport. I'll put the link in the chat box for you. If we watch this video, sorry, I'm just waiting for it to load. Now this is about a plane spotter apparently gets this on his cell phone. If we just watch this video, now the plane comes in. There seems to be some light around for some reason. As he's coming in, he bangs crash on the floor, and as it lands, now the plane starts coming up, but it looks like the plane scrapes backwards, which completely does away with what's left. You know, the plane on this video, the plane is shown so it's like as in the plane is going backwards and scraping with the wings and the tail on the floor. Now, if we now look at the pictures, now that doesn't. You'll come to see why this doesn't make sense in a minute when I go over the pictures. If you also notice as well, there's 3 plumes of smoke and a larger that appears the plane's on fire already. Now, again, we'll come to in a minute why this is all not quite right. Also notice that this bloke that's filming this is constantly saying, "Oh my god," he doesn't say anything else. Doesn't say it in any sort of emergency, he just thinks, "Oh my god." You know? I don't know, it just doesn't seem quite right to me. Anyway, we'll move on to the next point, I think. Yeah, if we go into the that Daily Mail website, there's a few different pictures. Now, we've just seen that plane on that video is the tail snapped off and it goes backwards, violently backwards, and scraping the wing and the front of the plane. Now, if we now go to that Daily Mail website and we cite that story, we look at the pictures. Both the wings are on the plane. Oh, hold on. Now, if we look at other aircraft, you know, later on I'll try and show another couple of examples of aircraft crashing. Now, in that kind of instance, these planes were never designed to take that kind of stress. The wings would have come off. You know, they wouldn't still be succeeding like that. You know, it just doesn't add up, does it? Now, since we're on the pictures, if we go through, now we see on the first one on this website, on the Daily Mail website, they show the chutes out on the first 2 doors only, not on the rear door after the wing. For whatever reason, that door wasn't opened. Why not? Again, you know, we're in an emergency situation. The cabin crew, why haven't they opened the doors? Aviation, again, watching these air crash investigation programs, they show that, you know, the severe training these crew and, you know, the air crew go through. You know, they should be able to evacuate a plane in 90 seconds. If we've already said that it took them 90 seconds to even start evacuating it. They should have had everyone out of the plane in 90 seconds. So bear that in mind. Why wasn't the rear door opened? And that doesn't make any sense, does it? When we also look at these pictures, we draw attention to the first one. There's black smoke emerging appears from the other side of the plane, from the perspective that the picture's taken. Okay, this is also seemed to be saying, okay, this is the first picture taken. You notice there's grass in the picture. You know, quite high grass, goes quite up, people. Now, if we scroll down the website, this mail, if I can pick out these other pictures, again shows that the last chute wasn't opened. Just trying to find this. I think they may have changed this since the. Okay, there's a fire-stricken thing of it. Right, and now we see a picture of it sort of just smouldering. Again, the rear door not open. Where are we? So these I might get a little bit flustered here looking at these pics and for what's just been shown to me in the video. Uh, there's a picture here somewhere of the airliner in the mud. Now, what you'll notice is in this picture, just trying to find this. Yeah, here we are. There's lots of tyre marks from the fire trucks, but there's no marks from where the aircraft crash landed. Oh, so the aircraft the top the fire trucks all made tyre marks, but the aircraft scraping on the ground never made any marks. Okay. Also in that picture, there's no grass. No grass nowhere. Oh, what happened to that then? There's also discrepancies on the pictures here as well. Some of these pictures show a yellow strip beneath the doors, whereas the other pictures show a red strip above the door. Well, hold on, is this even the same aircraft? You know, well, in fact, in this picture, saying about the grass, there's grass on this one that's only probably a foot high. Now, I know the papers use stock photos, but this all seems a bit, hit and miss here. Um, but I think we pretty much covered that. But I mean, how can we see anything here? Now, should we move on? I think because I think we've covered this a bit. I can't really. It sounds daft, but looking through the website, I can't really see a sequence of these pictures, but they don't really seem to add up much to me. Now, in the video, now again, I'm citing Max Malone's video here. This isn't my own research, it is his. He's saying that the fire truck took 30 minutes to get there. Now, again, this is an aviation airport. This is an airport. Now, again, watching these air crash investigations, they show the fire trucks on standby, waiting for the plane to crash. They don't hang around those things either. They're not standard fire trucks. I mean, let's face it, they're not slow. But if we look at these aviation ones, they're very fast. So why did it take it 30 minutes to get there? 30 minutes. That's incredible. This is probably all a little bit higgledy-piggledy, and I apologise for this. I've just tried making sense of this video and put it into words. Now, another thing that's been reported is apparently 2 children were run over by the fire truck. Well, hold on, the plane was evacuated 30 minutes earlier. Why would there have been a situation where the fire, how could they come into contact? That doesn't... Okay, it's a bit flimsy, I mean, it could happen, but it just seems a bit unlikely in my book. Do your own research by all means, don't go by what I say, go and look, it's all out there. Where are we? Yep, okay. Seems to be when the plane initially crashed, we saw black smoke, which dies down to white smoke, and then gets worse, and then again seems to get worse again. Well, as I said before, being a bus driver, during my training, they showed if you look on YouTube for a picture of a ALX 400 going up in smoke, it doesn't take long, in aircrafts and things with transportation, there's a lot of very flammable things, seats, all sorts. These things don't take long to go up in flames. They would engulf so quickly. Yet what we see here is the plane starts off with black smoke, thick black smoke coming from the other side to what the picture's showing. It dies down to white smoke and then suddenly bursts up again. Well, that doesn't make sense. Now, I'm going to cite another air crash here. Let me just find it. If I can. Yep, this is it. Aircraft Flight 797. It was a Air Canada DC-9. And there was an in-flight fire behind the washroom. Now, watch this. This was featured on one of these air crash investigation programs. The fire crew, the cabin crew couldn't initially find the fire while it was in the air. What happened was when it landed and they got the passengers out, unfortunately, well, it literally went up in seconds, this plane. It didn't last long at all. When they landed and opened all the doors, some passengers managed to escape. However, unfortunately, 23 didn't. and they, as I say, after opening doors, the thing caught fire in a couple of minutes. Just it was engulfed, and I saw the pictures afterwards. It was a wreck. So you wouldn't get that. Oh, hold on, it's on fire. It's not on fire. If it's on fire, it's on fire. There is no no maybes. Um, as I say, look up Air Canada Flight 797. Possibly, if you probably find the crash investigation, you can see it yourself, and you'll see how this unfolds. It's not quite what it seems. So, okay, let's move on to another point. Yes, this one certainly does interest me. If you go to Flight Radar, let me see if I can find a link for you. I do have this here. Copy this into the chat box too. Now it shows HL7742. Again, we go back to the Daily Mail report. Just bear with me. If you look on one of the wings, there's a picture of the wing. Yes, the one in fit in the mud. Now if you look, it does very clearly state that this plane was HL7742. If you look on the flight radar, that plane last flew on the 4th of July. And hold on, wasn't this crash on the 6th of July? That's strange, isn't it? How did they miss up? Because again, we're talking about aviation safety and record keeping is immense. This kind of thing just couldn't happen. It's all there to see. As I say, go and do your own research. Don't believe everything I tell you. So we were getting through these points fairly quickly. Oh yeah, going back to the theory as well. The wing's still intact, yeah, okay. I think we did go with the fuel, didn't we? Now we look at another picture and we see, hold on, there's a children's ambulance. What would a children's ambulance be doing at an airport? Again, just a bit of a I don't know, distraction if you like. It just seems a bit odd. I mean, it doesn't really prove anything one way or another. Just a bit of an odd thing to happen. Yep, there's also a interview with a child that was supposedly on the plane, allegedly on the plane. I think that's probably the better word. And he starts talking to a reporter. Now, he quite clearly says he's on the plane. You notice there's a policeman in the background, and as I say, he said he's on the plane already. He carry on talking. Now, after he seems to finish, then the cop comes and grabs him and says, "Okay, well, he was on the plane. Come with me." Seems a little bit rehearsed, perhaps. I mean, as I say, I'm not trying to get at this conspiracy, but it seems to point that way. I wouldn't suggest to anyone that what's right and wrong. Just all seems a little bit odd in my book. Why if you was if the policeman wanted to speak to him, why not grab him straight away? Seems odd. Now, let's see. I think I've made my way through. Oh yeah, just one other thing. Now the major thing that comes to me is what I noticed. In one of the pictures, it shows the oxygen masks have deployed. Now, oxygen masks are put on a plane for one reason and one reason only. If there's a rapid decompression, i.e., if we just go a little bit into aircraft here, we know commercial jets fly at higher altitudes where the oxygen levels are too thin to sustain life. If we can survive up there without. So what the aircraft does is that inside they have pressure. What happens now? The only reason you would deploy an oxygen mask is what would happen is, say, a piece of the plane was to fall off, you would have a rapid decompression. So what would happen there is obviously you wouldn't have enough oxygen to breathe. Now these oxygen masks are fed from something that provides a chemical reaction that will provide your oxygen. So okay, they're great in that situation, but if you're having a crash landing or a fire, it specifically said that they don't use them. So why were they deployed in this situation? Doesn't really make much sense, does it? Someone's also suggested that original video that I've put in the chat box. Well, it's a CGI. You'll notice after the plane crashes, there's 3 separate plumes of smoke. If you look at them, they do actually, I've got to agree with the bloke here. It actually does look like someone's gone into paint and just brushed up 3 lines of, using the airbrush. It's a bit daft. Don't get me wrong, you have our own opinions. Let's have a look, see what other points we got here. Yeah, baggage. I think we covered the strange behaviour, class flu, discussion. Yep, it's shown that the pictures don't seem to make sense. Some of them have 3-foot high grass, some of them have a little bit of grass, and some have no grass whatsoever. Oh yeah, that's another point. After that last mud picture, shown after the fire's out, and there's no foam on the ground, and the ground doesn't appear to be wet. Okay, wouldn't be completely noticeable, but no foam at all. All of that, all gone. Let's have a look. Yeah, black smoke. The other thing is, on the footage, we don't see no one being put into the ambulances. We see the ambulances there. No one's being loaded up into them. I think the only point I have left here is also reported there was 2 other 77, the particular plane in question was a Boeing 777. There was being reported 2 other 777 issues that same day. Hold on. We don't really hear of any plane issues particularly, but on that particular day there was also 2 others of the same plane type. That's strange. Well, I think that's come to the end of my list. Now, I've also got a number of links open on my thing. I want to go through these one at a time. Oh yeah, the Asiana Cove. Don't think this really applies. I can't find a lot else that I was hoping to talk about, unfortunately. It's going to be a small talk on this plane. Apologise, I'm not not quite as prepared as other hosts on these things. I am an amateur. Now, what I would oh yeah, this is definitely another thing I'd like to say about another plane crash I'd like to cite in the in this is I'm just trying to find the code. It was known as HK2016. I believe it was the Avonica 707. Now, what happened? This aircraft ran out of fuel and landed premature to the runway. It didn't kill it. Now, what seems strange again, we saw the violent way this other aircraft, like the one in question, this 777 crashed. The violent how it flipped over, appeared to nearly flip over. However, this HK2016 Avionica 707, well, what happened? It ran out of fuel short of the runway after running out, and it basically crashed. Now, I'm not saying that would have been a gentle thing, but gentle crash. But it seems odd to me. A plane that just basically falls out of the sky and does its best to land will split into 3 pieces. I believe it was. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's definitely in 2. I mean, 2 or 3 pieces, and the wings aren't left intact at all. Now, not everyone survived this crash. In fact, I believe that these figures aren't accurate, but I think it was something like 100 survivors out of 185 people. Yet, this aircraft, this 777, crash landing that, let's say it was quite an acrobatic flip, and everyone survived, all but two people that got run over by a fire truck. I know there's a couple that they report as critically injured, but no fatalities. That does seem rather strange. What is the other one? Oh yeah, again, just going to show. No, I don't think that really shows anything actually. I think that's the end of this talk really. Can't really think of anything on top of my head that will go through this any longer. But again, all these things don't quite point correctly to me. Perhaps if, you know, I'm going to leave it there, guys. As I say, I'm gone dried up a little bit. I'm going to play a couple of songs, see if I can dig out anything else.